Hi bestie, how are you today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm so happy you made it. I went to Disney a couple weeks ago, and of course while I was in Orlando, you know I had to check out some of the indie bookstores. I stopped by 2 indie bookstores and I bought 4 books and a little extra something. So I wanted to give you a little walkthrough of the bookstores that I went to, as well as a little book haul. So let's go. The first bookstore that I went to was called Writer's Block Bookstore. I think they have 2 locations. I went to the one in Winter Garden. They had the cutest sign outside that was like, if you're looking for a sign to buy a book, this is it. I loved it. And of course I went in and I bought 2 books. I couldn't help myself. They had a pretty nice romance section, and you know that's immediately where I went. They also had a lot of blind date with a book options, and I really couldn't decide on what I wanted while I was here. I got one blind date with a book and I was just walking around the store trying to figure out what else I wanted, and then I ended up going back and just getting a second blind date with the book. I haven't opened them yet, so I wanted to open them with you guys. They also had this calendar that had all of their upcoming events. They were gonna have Christina Lauren come to the bookstore, and also they had so many book club options. It made me want to pick up and move to Orlando. Bridgerton Series 3 Part 1 had just come out like that weekend when I went to the bookstore, and they had the cutest little Bridgerton setup. And I wanted to get a Bridgerton book here because I only own books 1 and 2. I've only read book 1, but I own books 1 and 2, and I was like, well, I want the rest of the series, but I really did not want the Netflix covers. There's just something about them. It's just not for me. The whole area around the bookstore was adorable. I wish I had more time to go check out all of the little shops. It was so cute. But if you are ever in the Winter Garden area, please go check out the Writer's Block Bookstore. It was such a fantastic experience. They had so many options. At this bookstore, I ended up getting 2 blind date with the books, and I wanted to open them with you to see what I got. I kind of guessed what one of them is already, so let's start with that one. So this is what it looks like. I really hope the camera focuses. And if it didn't, we'll pretend that it did. But it says that this is a romance, friends to lovers, dark rom-com, sizzling chemistry, lots of chaos, and full of murder. I read that and I was like, this is Butcher and Blackbird. I just know it in my bones. So I've been wanting this book for a while. I really hope that's what it is. If not, this is gonna be awkward. But I've been wanting this book for quite some time, so let's see if I was correct. Yep, Butcher and Blackbird. I've really been wanting to read this one, so I am very excited to have it. Is his name Rowan? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Oh my gosh, like, am I gonna read this right now? I might. Then we have this one. It said it was, I swear I didn't open it. It wasn't taped, I swear. I haven't found out what this one was, and I couldn't guess what it was either. So it's basically a spicy version of Mr. and Mrs. Darcy After I Do. A modern Regency romance, very passionate, deeply in love. So, let's see. Okay, Mr. Darcy takes a wife. I don't mean to be that person, but I'm glad this is a blind date with a book because I would have never picked this book up off the shelf. But this says the sexiest Jane Austen inspired novel ever. Bold claim, very bold claim. If you want to get up into that cover. Okay, let me just say, the text is very tiny, and I'm not a tiny text kind of gal. But we'll see. I might read it. It might sit on my shelf for quite some time. I guess we'll find out together. Next up was the Sunshine Book Co. in Clermont, Florida. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I think this is the cutest bookstore I've ever been in. I am obsessed with the vibes of this bookstore. I got to talk to the owner here, and she graduated from FSU, so immediately I was like, okay, we're besties. And so in my head, she's my best friend. I will say this one didn't have as many options as the Writer's Block bookstore. However, I loved every single thing about this. So right when you walk in, if you go to the right, there's a screened in porch, and over there's like a little reading corner. They have tote bags, t-shirts, graduation gifts for the 3 major schools in Florida. And then they also had like coloring books and things like that over there. But if you walk in and keep going straight, the first main room, that was where the romance section was and the young adult section. And then they also had cookbooks, books by local authors. I loved it. I loved everything about this bookstore. What I really, really loved was the amount of windows. This like wasn't connected to any other buildings. It was just a standalone building, bunch of windows, so much natural light coming in. Beautiful. I also think there may have been nonfiction books in the first room. However, that's not really what I was looking for, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But then if you keep going into the next room, that's where the fantasy books were. Also graphic novels and a bunch of like cute little gifts like stickers and cups and things like that. And then the last room was the cutest children's section. I absolutely loved it. Not that I'm buying books for any children, however, it was just like so cute in there. I really could not get enough of this bookstore. Like I purchased my items and then just kept walking around because I didn't want to leave. And I will say, right at opening, there were so many people like there already. Like we got in right at opening and then like not even 2-3 minutes later, the bookstore was basically full. And it makes me so happy to see when indie bookstores are busy. I love it. I was eyeing the fantasy section, but the fantasy section mostly had fantasy books that I've read and loved or fantasy books that I own and haven't read yet. So I went back over to the romance section and I saw that they had the Bridgerton series without the Netflix covers. So I got the 3rd book in the Bridgerton series, and then I also bought the 4th book in the Bridgerton series. For some reason, I thought that Penelope and Colin's story was book 3, hence season 3, book 3. I was wrong. So I need to read Benedict's story first, and then I'll be reading Penelope and Colin's story. And now my absolute favorite thing that I bought at this bookstore, drum roll please, this Bridgerton puzzle. Like, isn't that adorable? I think it's 1,000 pieces. Fun fact about me, I'm a puzzle kind of gal. I like to listen to a little audiobook, do my puzzle, but like, look at how beautiful, and it has all the characters in there. I'm so excited. I'm probably gonna put this together while I rewatch seasons 1 and 2. I have not watched season 3 yet. I am waiting for part 2 to come out so I can binge the entire series. I still haven't watched Queen Charlotte though, so I think I'm gonna watch Queen Charlotte, rewatch seasons 1 and 2, and then get into season 3 when it comes out. But I'm so excited to put this puzzle together. If you are ever in the Orlando area, please go check out these bookstores. Thank you so much for watching. Comment what indie bookstore I should go to next. I love going to indie bookstores. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye.